Hello everyone, Team709 here on the No Limit YouTube channel for a deck profile for you guys this week. A friend of mine recently said he wanted to rebuild Psychic, so I kind of helped him out with a build, and I figured I would share it with you guys. There's also a few interesting things that kind of came up as a result of us talking about how we would go about building Psychics, and yeah. So let's just kind of go over the build, and then I'll explain the interesting card at the end. I don't have it in this obviously because it would be something that would be recommended to side. I do just want to kind of put it out there. Whenever I bring it up, you should probably Google it and read up on it. It's a really good card for the side deck in both Qliphorts and Psychics because it's a Psychic monster. So yeah, when we get to the end of this, just keep that in mind. So starting off with the monsters, we have one Redox, Dragon Ruler, Boulders, considering there's a good number of Earth Psychic monsters in the deck. Turning Redox obviously into either a Monster Reborn for one of your monsters or, just a 3k wall for your opponent to get over. Obviously, just really good card. It also allows you with Commander to make your Leo, so I mean, there's that. Moving on, we have one Caius, the Shadow Monarch. We play various ways of tribute summoning, considering my friend enjoys playing the card that we're going to be going over next, and having it as a one-of to kind of out some things that may be a problem, or just be able to get some potential damage by banishing a face-down Shaddoll, or just crazy shit like that. It's just a very solid card. Not to mention you have a lot of ways of just putting something to tribute summon with on your board. So yeah. On to the next card, and like I said, this is a card that my friend really does enjoy playing, and it's something that I kind of wish would see more play. It's kind of it's got this really cool design and everything. It's even got a really interesting effect. Is Overdrive Teleporter. We play 3. For anyone who doesn't know or remember what this card does, you can pay 2,000 life points to special summon 2 level 3 Psychic type monsters from your deck. The effect can only be used once while it's face up on the field, and it cannot be special summoned. So, I mean, there's that. Being able to special summon Psychic Commander, Hush Psychic Cleric, Serene Psychic Witch, and of course Rise Bell is kind of just really nice to have. So I mean, there's that. There's also other plays with Rise Bell, and we'll kind of cover that when we get to it. Continuing on, we have 2 Silent Psychic Wizards. I don't know if I need to explain this. Same with this one, Serene Psychic Witch. It's basically, I'll get any Psychic monster I want from my deck as long as it's 2,000 or less attack. So, I mean, something to kind of think about. 3 Psychic Commanders, 1 Rise Bell, the Star Adjuster. I don't know why DevPro has it as Rise Belt, the Toon Star Master. It's kind of a crappier name, actually, if you ask me. For anyone who doesn't know or remember what this card does either, it is a level 3, obviously, Psychic monster. When this card is special summoned, you can target any one face-up monster in the field and increase its level by up to 3 until the end of the turn. So it can kind of adjust itself to meet any kind of situation, as long as it's of course being special summoned. Normally it's a level 3, so you can use Esper Girl, Psychic Jumper, or Commander to make a 5 or a 6. You could also use Recover as a level 1 tuner to make Armory Arm. So I mean, there's that, but there's also the cool thing that if you wanted to, you could bring out off of Teleporter, you could bring out Serene Psychic Witch, or I don't know, maybe you want to bring out Cleric for something, or a Commander, I don't know. And the cool part is with Rise Bell, you can turn him into a 6 and overlay for a rank 6, which is really nice. Or you can use it to just make like a synchro that's like anywhere between like 6, 5, 8, 7, whatever. It's just a solid card as a one-of. Continuing on, we have 2 Hush Psychic Clerics. Don't know if I need to explain that. The only weird ones are these 2, really. 2 Esper Girls and 1 Psychic Jumper, the ratio for the level 2 tuners. And then our level 1 tuner, Recover, as DevPro calls it, Resurrect Tome for some reason. Maybe that was a Japanese name, I don't really remember. Weird name either way. Anyways, moving on to the spells, we have 1 Mind Control. You play a lot of tuners, obviously, and there's still the chance that you might be able to take an opponent's level 3 monster and overlay, stuff like that. 1 Soul Charge, just for making things like Beast Sparkion really easily, maybe even on turn 1 if you're lucky. 2 Soul Exchange, and this is kind of back and forth. There's this, and then there's also the Monarch Storm 4th. Monarch Storm 4th prevents you from summoning from your extra deck, whereas Soul Exchange prevents you from conducting your battle phase. So Monarch Storm 4th, obviously you can tribute your opponent's monster, summon Caius or something, and just attack. Or you can Soul Exchange and still get the Caius effect off, or you could do Overdrive Teleporter and be able to still summon from your extra deck. So it comes down to preference. My friend actually prefers playing the Monarch Storm 4th, whereas I kind of prefer Soul Exchange just because I feel like this deck needs to be able to get into its extra deck and summon things. And having something kind of hinder that isn't something that, but I'm assuming that everyone understands that. So moving on. One Book of Moon, overall just a generically good card. 3 Emergency Teleport, it wouldn't be Psychics without it. And this is probably an odd choice for a lot of people. Brain Research Lab, anyone that knows the whole FTK thing with Exodia, Mind Master, or whatever, then you know what this card does. For anyone who doesn't know what this card does, it's a field spell. This is once per turn you can normal summon 1 Psychic type monster in addition to your normal summoner set for that turn. If successful, you place 1 Psychic counter on this card. You can also place 1 Psychic counter on this card instead of paying life points to activate Psychic type monsters' effects that you control. When this card is removed from the field in any way, whether it goes back to your deck, your hand, to the graveyard, out of play, whatever, the controller of this card takes 1000 damage for each Psychic counter on it. So you can use it to not have to pay life points for Overdrive Teleporter, which kind of, I guess, helps with Soul Charge, because Soul Charge you obviously give up life points for. And it's also kind of just good for being able to just have that double summon effect. It's just something you have to kind of play smart, but being able to just turn monsters into either a beast or a Barkion or anything else that's relevant in your extra deck is usually a nice thing to have. Not to mention, like, if you need to tribute summon this and you don't have Soul Exchange, you can summon something then tribute it immediately for Overdrive. So it's just overall nice to have. Moving on to the traps, we have 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 Dimensional Prison, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, 3 Vanity's Fiend, because this card's just amazing right now, 2 Fiendish Chain. This is kind of up there as well, kind of like Soul Exchange. You could do this or Breakthrough Skill, either works really. Whether you want to either stop attacks or be able to negate more than one effect with the card, then, I mean, that comes down to preference, so... kind of, Fiendish Chain kind of helps with the whole Nephilim. You can stop it from attacking, and you can attack into it with something that's bigger from your extra deck, and not have to worry about Nephilim going, oh, hey, you attack me with a special summon monster or whatever, blow it up, things like that. So, something to kind of consider, I guess. And the last trap being, of course, Solemn Warning. Extra deck, we have 1 Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree, because again, Redox with, Sacred Commander. 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Stardust Spark. Spark plus Vanities is always kind of derpy. 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Ancient Pixie Dragon. We are playing a field spell in this deck, and it's pretty ridiculous if you happen to get this off. Not to mention it's a 3k beat stick, just like Redox. For anyone who doesn't know what Pixie does, I'll kind of cover it. It's the same stats as Ancient Fairy Dragon, including level. After resolving a field spell that was activated during your turn, draw 1 card. So, I mean, getting a free draw is nice. You can only use this effective Ancient Pixie Dragon once per turn. Obviously, otherwise it would be busted. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up attack position monster on the field, destroy that target. There must be a face-up field spell on the field to activate this, or activate and resolve this effect. So, I mean, just by having Brain Research Lab out, you can destroy free monsters that are in attack position, and it's again a 3k wall, so it's kind of nice. You can make it at any time and it'll be kind of useful. So I mean, continuing on, Goyo Guardian, obviously one Naturia Barkion, 1 Armadeus, Keeper of Boundaries, 1 Naturia Beast, 1 card that probably a lot of people will find weird, Samsara, Dragon of Rebirth, I think this is the English name. There's like 2 different names here for DevPro, of course. For anyone who does not know what this does, it's a level 5 synchro, 100 attack, 2600 defense, so it's got a pretty nice, wall behind it. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card you control is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 monster in either player's graveyard except for Samsara, Dragon of Rebirth. Special summon it. You can only use this effect of Samsara, Dragon of Rebirth once per turn. So I mean, kind of a nice card, really. You could replace it with something else, but my friend kind of wanted to do like a whole bunch of like things that replace themselves, so I kind of tossed this in as another card to use. And then the last synchro we have is Armory Arm. For the Exceeds, we have 1 Ptolemy M7, 1 Photon Strike Bouncer, 1 Ghost Tricalia card, and 1 Levier the Sea Dragon. Again, like, you can make rank 6 plays with Rise Bell, Overdrive, or Caius, or, like, you can do any combination of them. You can summon Caius and teleport out Rise Bell, or you can summon Overdrive Teleporter, bring out Rise Bell, and, whatever. There's just enough ways to at least justify making, or putting Bouncer and Ptolemy in the extra deck, so, yeah. Psychics have always been a really fun deck for me, and, it's something that I enjoy like working with every once in a while, especially whenever a new format rolls around. And yeah, so he said that he liked the deck, so I played it a little bit as well. It's kind of derpy and it's actually a lot of fun to play. So I figured that's why I would share it with you guys. One other thing before we end this, like I said at the very beginning, there's a side card that's actually very interesting for this in the Qliphort deck, and that would be Hypnosister. I do kind of recommend you guys go and check that card out because it is absolutely interesting, is I guess the best way to put it. Let's just put it this way: it gets an effect for each, or for the total number of pendulum cards in the pendulum zones. So that means yours and your opponent's. The first one, it gains 800 attack and defense, and it already has 1300 attack and 1500 defense, I believe, making it a 2100 with only a single pendulum card in the pendulum zone. If there happens to be two, or it's one or more for the first effect, two or more for the second, which is if it battles a monster that was pendulum summoned, it is destroyed before the damage step. So being able to just attack pendulum summon Qliphorts is a thing. Obviously, if they tribute summon or summon killer, something like that, obviously that can kind of get around it, but still, there's that. The fourth effect I know is that if it destroys a monster, I think by battle or by its own effect, then you get to draw a card. And then I believe the third effect is if your opponent must attack with every monster they have if able, something like that. So yeah, it's just kind of a derpy card, something that I feel like people should consider, at least for their side decks when it comes to Qliphorts, and I guess of course psychics, because it's a psychic monster, but it might be useful on other side decks. I don't know. It's just something I felt like bringing to you guys because it's an interesting card. So I figured I'd talk about it, considering it's relevant in the form of psychics. But yeah, enough rambling on. I guess we've covered enough. If you guys have a deck that you want to get fixed, be sure to message it here on the No Limit YouTube channel by going to the channel, going to the About section, and clicking Send Message. It can be either typed out in Monster Spell Trap Extra Deck, or you can send it to us in the form of a YDK file for Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro/DevPro, and hopefully we can get to it in the upcoming weeks. And yeah, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this is Team709 signing out.